Good morning, Texoma, and thanks for waking up with us this morning. I'm Ashley Fitzwater. This morning, we're taking an inside look into a program that's in its 13th year in Texoma. It is called Teens Make a Difference. It used to be Teens Make a Difference Day, and now we're talking about Teens Make a Difference all month.
That's right.
We're going to explain what that means. Joining me now with the very latest is Stuart Harvey. He is the Executive Director for the Nonprofit Center. So good morning, and thank you for being here with us.
Good morning, Ashley. Thank you for once again having us on to talk about such an impactful project.
I love this, and I love how it gets our future leaders really involved now. You know, we're not waiting for them to grow up to get involved. And can you tell me, just kind of starting from the beginning, what is Teens Make a Difference, in case folks don't know?
Well, you know, this is the legacy, which I'd like to call it, of a very fantastic lady, Dee Decker, who served as Executive Director for the Center for many, many years before I stepped into that role to serve. And she realized that there was a missed opportunity there for us as current leaders, current guiders of our community, to be able to provide opportunities for our teens to learn what that looks like.
Sure.
If we don't give them a project, if we don't give them opportunities, how are they going to learn and do? So the idea was to take and capture Make a Difference Day, which is happens all across the United States. And she thought, let's have it a Teens Make a Difference Day. And it has made such a difference. I will tell you that the validation point is that we have alumni of the program who have come back to serve as adult volunteers. We have alumni that have taken this program to other cities. So it's coming into a fullness of return on investment.
The Nonprofit Center, of course, as you mentioned, this is the baby that's grown out of that organization.
Absolutely.
And just real quickly, if you can share with folks what you guys do for the community. You work hand in hand with nonprofits in the area.
We ourselves are a public charity, and we serve other public charity. Nonprofits build strong communities, and we build strong nonprofits. So if you like to look at us, we're the ones who help behind the scenes. You know, we're not fuzzy, and we're not warm, and we're not old, and we're not young. We're not all those things that really pull on our heartstrings from a traditional perspective, but we are there to help them build a better organization, to help them navigate through those tough times that we all have. And we're there as a coach, as a cheerleader. You know, sometimes we just need words of hope to be spoken into us so that we continue down that great mission. So we all have learning opportunities. We do that in a very structured way.
Pouring back into those who pour out to so many others and helping to keep them going. So
absolutely.
That's awesome. And of course, whenever you think of nonprofits, volunteers, usually the heart of it all, the key of it all. So I love the little catchphrase, the slogan, the key that goes with this, creating a new generation of volunteers, because that's what they're doing. They're volunteering, going out in the community. We're going to talk about what these projects are that they're doing coming up. But can you talk about the growth of this program over the 13 years? You
know, it started off very small, very pilot, you know, just to litmus test it and see, does our community want this? Did they think they need it? It's been a resounding success. So original years of, 200, 500 has grown into 1,800 to 2,000 a year, every year, just on one day, on 4 hours on that Saturday. We had that many teens, and then all the wonderful adult volunteers that come in to help lead the projects, to manage through. So it's an unbelievable chance for us to show our teens, this is what it looks like to lead our community. And so if we want to craft our vision for what our community is going to look like tomorrow, we've got to start with the ones who are going to be at the helm.
And I know with teens nowadays, they're so busy, they're so involved in so many different
Absolutely.
things. And it, of course, doesn't mean they don't want to take part. So you've expanded this, and I think this is amazing, and it's of course going to help encourage even more folks to get involved, and that's making it the month.
Absolutely. It was so frustrating because that one short time period during that one day, there's so many other schools that have band competitions, that have testing, ACT, SAT. All those kids that want to be a part of it, I say kids, those young adults that want to be a part of it, they can't. They're disenfranchised from their participation. So we thought it reasonable, and we have to do this to give them a chance to participate in the program.
And what they do is select a project that they can do anytime throughout the month, what's kind of the mission behind what they're going to be doing?
Absolutely. The goal is to engage them, but to engage them into something that is beautifying or uplifting or upbuilding for our community. And when I say community, it's not just Wichita Falls. It's Iowa Park. It's Burke Burnett. It's Bowie. It's a little bit of Henrietta. We'd like more Henrietta out there. It's Archer City. So we're trying to expand the program and to keep pushing our borders out, at least to the service area for the nonprofit center of Texoma, which is about a 60 to 70 mile radius around Wichita Falls. Each year it grows and grows a little bit more, a little bit more. I'd love to see between 3,000 and 3,500 teens this year, and I don't see any reason why we couldn't.
Yeah.
That time window is open for the whole month, makes it more flexible. A nonprofit, a church, a school, a nursing home, retirement center, whatever it is. Sometimes it just doesn't work out for that one day, for that one time frame. We've got a whole month we can do it now. There's no reason not to participate.
The one day, though, there is going to be a celebration luncheon.
Absolutely.
So if you can, you don't want to miss that day. Lots of things are going to be taking place. That's going to be in October 25th, wrapping the month up. Can you tell us a little bit about where it's going to be?
It's going to be at the Boys and Girls Club Central downtown. I tell you what, Randy Cooper, Barbara Green, Carlos, everybody there is so arms open. And it is a blessing to be able to partner with them. They are so generous, and we always look forward to having it there. We have a great pizza party. Our good friends from the Junior League of Wichita Falls come in, and they help us. And they usually always fund and help us pay for the pizza, and they come and serve it.
Wow.
So they get to see firsthand all the diversity of our kids that are looking for ways to give back in our community. So it's a great time. Last year, we had Irony Singleton from Walking Dead, and he came and spoke. He's had a really amazing story, and that was our partnership with Wichita Falls Downtown Development. And this year, we're looking for another opportunity, too, so don't be surprised if we announce that.
That's great. That's awesome. Now, whenever the teens sign up, they even get one of these shirts, which I love, and this color.
They're iconic.
You see this everywhere, and
Yes.
I love this. So,
Yeah.
you know, we want to show these off a little bit, too, but can you tell us, I know we're going to talk about how you can sign up and everything, but is it, since they are volunteering their time, is there a fee at all with this, and whenever it comes to the lunch or anything for the kids?
No, it's absolutely free. You know, we have very generous donors. Our foundations really step up. J.S. Bridwell has been a mainstay of that for so many years, but it is totally free. One thing that we are looking for this year is to give teens a chance to learn what it means to fundraise. We would like to ask them to have a financial stakeholdership in maintaining and sustaining this program for future generations.
All right, well, we are not done talking about Teens Make a Difference. So stick around, Texoma. We need a quick break. We'll be right back with much more. Welcome back to Inside Texoma. Once again, we're taking an inside look into Teens Make a Difference. It's happening all throughout the month of October, and we are just excited that this is the 13th year right here in our community. Now, we've talked a lot about it's throughout the month of October.
Yes.
But we'd like to know more about the projects and what it is that you're asking teens to do. What can it be?
You know what? It can be virtually anything. You know, we want to avoid probably a lot of chainsaw work and things like that. But having said that, with the right supervision, the right equipment, you know, nothing is off the table. We just want to make sure everybody's safe and compliant when we're doing these projects. If they see a need, I say they being a teen or a group of teens, they can get a group together themselves at school or at church or wherever they're sports teams. They can come in and say, you know what, I'd love to go address this issue that I see. I love this park, but I know that it needs cleaning, and I know that it needs some trimming, although the parks are always looking great around here, right? But still, you know, there's always work to be done and beautification that can happen. So they can call the center, or they can fill out a project form, find an adult volunteer to help lead the project, and then they can pick the day or the days that they do this project. It can be painting a house, it can be cleaning up trash, it can be planting. We have actually some of the most poignant moments of the program are when some of our teens go spend time with the elders in our community. And they sit down and they have those one-on-one conversations, and they can get a sense of history. You know, they understand, they create those linkages. It means a great deal to both parties there. It's amazing all the wonderful things that happen, not just in doing the work, but the relationships that are built. We need to learn how to take care of them and take care of the place that they built for us.
Absolutely. Keep that legacy going. Now, we're talking about 12 to 18-year-olds. That's the,
Yes,
the
that's
age
the
group
range.
that we're dealing with here. Maybe they're just an individual. They're not able to get a group together. They can still sign up, though. They don't
You bet.
necessarily have to be with
We'll
a
hook
group.
them up with a group. We'll match them with another group. We've done that on occasion in the past. We have several individuals that don't have a group,
Sure.
and we'll just pull one together. And great things happen that way too.
What else you're needing is, of course, folks to register. And how do they need to go about doing that? Do they need to give you a call? Do they head to the website? You said there's lots of forms on there.
Everything that somebody needs to fill out is on our website, and that's www.nonprofitcenterwf.org. And if you go to the website, you'll see a little banner, and it says Teens Make a Difference. Just click on it. It takes you to the page. It tells you about the projects. It tells you about all the wonderful donors that give to the program, and it has all the forms that they need. So they can download that, print it off, fill it out, fax it in, or they can fill it out and scan it and send it in. So there's a lot of different ways. And if they want to do it over the phone, we will seek every way to serve and accommodate those who want to help.
I love that, because obviously the center not open today on a Sunday, but that isn't stopping you from signing up today. So call up some of your friends today and go ahead and get this going. You can sign up and have it all done, ready to go.
Absolutely. And you know, we're talking about projects. We have lots of teens. This year I'm hoping for a whole lot more. But we always need more adults who are willing to invest and sow into our teens. We need volunteers to help lead the projects, to help supervise, make sure everybody has what they need, the right tools, water to stay hydrated, food. You know, so we want to make sure that we are matching the zeal of our teens with adults who recognize that and say, you know what, if there's a group, we're going to match them and we're going to be there.
Another important group, I understand, is your steering committee.
Absolutely. What a great group of individuals, and we've got some that have been there for many, many years that know how the machine works, and I use that in the most upbuilding and in the best sense of the word, but they just make it a joy and a pleasure to go through what can be a very complicated process. We know when you're juggling that many individuals or that many projects and you're trying to match and pull all the t-shirts together and get the right name and the right size. So without our volunteers, without our steering committee, this would be a daunting task at best. So I want to thank each and every one of you. You know who you are, from Bowie to Archer City and Burt Burnett. And you know, we're also looking for, when talking about volunteers, we need champions inside of our schools. Individuals who will say, you know what, I'm a counselor or I'm, you know, whatever role I serve, but I want to make sure that it is open to every teen that wants to be a part of it.
Meaning to get them involved and
Absolutely.
to help sign them
promote
up,
the
encourage them.
promote the program,
Promote the
let them know that if there are completed groups somewhere, we'll start another one. We will match them and we'll find a way to make that happen.
A good way for parents too, if your kid's a part of something, maybe a sports group or a church group as you mentioned, take some of these flyers. You can print those out on your website as well.
Lead by example.
I love that. That's great. Well, Stuart, we need to take another quick break, but we are talking about some more new things, how they are making this program, of course, expand and grow in its 13th year. So don't go anywhere, Texoma. We'll be right back with much more. Welcome back to Inside Texoma. Once again, we're taking an inside look into the 13th annual Teens Make a Difference Day. Now, the big day, the celebration luncheon day, is, of course, October 25th, and that's coming up 12 to 1 will be the big lunch. But something new this year is the fact that it's all month long. Something else that is new is engaging youth when it comes to giving.
You betcha. You know what? If we expect and want our giving tomorrow to be what it is today, we've got to foster and cultivate that next generation to give and to get in the habit of giving. What we're asking for from our teens this year is we're asking, if they can, is for each one to donate $5 into the program. And you know, maybe that comes from their allowance. You know, when it's closer to home, it means more when we give. You know, if mom and dad really see a benefit for this program, and I know that they do, I would engage and ask them, match your teen.
Yeah.
You know, if your teen gives 5, would you consider giving 5? At the end of the day, Ashley, the Nonprofit Center of Texoma is a public charity, and we depend upon fundraising and giving so that we can meet our operational overhead needs. For us to continue to serve, we have to branch out into the different programs and be creative in the way that we're fundraising. When we were sitting down talking about this, it's like, this is a natural extension.
Yeah.
If we're wanting them to learn how to volunteer, we also want to ask them to get in the habit of giving. And it's easy to do. They can do that through PayPal, which is on our website. If they want to write a check, they can do that too. We're also going to see if maybe the teens learn how to match. I'm going to do this. Would you match with me? They're not asking for a handout, they're asking for a hand up. Partner with me in this program. We want to make sure that the program is sustained for years to come, and we need to start sowing those good financial seeds back into it.
I like that. So maybe if it's a group, count off how many kids you have, and then as a group they could work. Maybe it's a youth group, then they could challenge others in the church, or maybe their parents, as you mentioned. I love the parents idea. So
absolutely,
to match them, that's a great idea. Have you had any groups that have just done that before?
This is the first time that we've introduced this concept, and we really thought long and hard about that. Is this appropriate to do? And the answer is yes. Absolutely it is. If we are ever going to continue our giving, we have to engage the next generation. They have to understand what it means. And more often than not, it's a sacrifice. When we're giving from our heart and we're giving something that means, then it's, you know, we feel it. But then we're more invested in it too.
Yeah, that's so true. And I like how there's also a bit of an incentive here whenever it comes to giving and matching, because you're going to actually reward the team who raises the most money, correct?
Absolutely, absolutely. We are actively seeking some prizes to give out for that. We'll be doing some awards for a group, a project that raises the most, and for the individual that can raise the most.
Great.
And it's to recognize and to validate the investment that they're creating into this fantastic program.
And, you know, there's a lot of competitive teams out there, so even if
bet
they
there
make
is.
it,
I'm counting on it.
something fun, you know,
Sure.
for your team to get involved, because it's just 2 ways of giving and 2 easy ways that your teens can get involved. The ages between 12 and 18 years old. You can head online now, as he mentioned, sign them up. We look forward to hearing more about this and really the outcome. We're going to talk about the previous year's outcomes in just a minute, so
and
stick around.
cumulative outcomes.
You don't want to miss this. It's really going to show off how big of a difference these teens are making in our community. So stick around, Texoma. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Inside Texoma. Once again, we're taking an inside look into the 13th annual Teens Make a Difference all throughout the month of October.
All throughout the month.
And it's not just Wichita Falls, which I love. This is really a Texoma effort that's being made.
It has grown over the years. You know, we have such an incredible presence in Iowa Park, in Burke Burnett, in Archer City, and in Bowie, and it's growing in Henrietta, which we really want to keep that going. But we want every school, every teen really, that has an interest in learning and wanting to understand what it's like to give back and to participate, to be a part of something that's larger than themselves, to have that chance.
And you've been talking about close to 2,000 over the years.
Consistently.
Grown to, correct?
Yeah, so if we put that in cumulative terms, you know, over, if it's just 10 years that we've had that, we are approaching, you know, close to over 200,000 teenagers that have volunteered over the years. So traditionally, it's that 4-hour period. So if you do 200,000 times 4, that's over 800,000 hours that have been invested in our collective communities over the years. Multiply that by 21, which is the financial recognition point for volunteer hours, and you start seeing what kind of a financial impact that has over the course of time. So it's really an amazing aggregate effect and return on investment that we have and that we see.
Are there any projects that maybe were done last year or in years past that stand out in your mind now that you can see that difference that those teens made?
I think the ones that are the most poignant are some of our teen teams that have gone and spent time with our seniors. And it seems like something that's really not a big deal. It's like, well, why don't you have a shovel in your hand or a rake? But the connectivity that happens is amazing. It unbelievably touches the teens in a way that they remember. you know, they kind of benchmark over the years throughout those different projects, and they remember things that really motivated them or they carry with them. And getting to spend time with an individual like that can be an unbelievable peer back into history. It gives perspective. You know, when you hear about somebody that grew up into the Depression, and the blessings that we have today in our lives, it's what we take for granted was unbelievable luxury in those days. So we need for them to hear that. When we get frustrated because our cell phone's not working,
Right.
I mean, how is it not to have food on the table or not to be able to turn on an air conditioner, not even to have it in that period of time? So it's one of those things that we really enjoy creating the connectivity. I love it when teens participate in programs every year. Beautification of our parks, and I really want to continue to grow that. But when a teenager can come back over the course of time and say, I built that.
Yeah.
I fixed that. I did that. It's unbelievable. Teens who beautify are less likely to allow something to be defaced
Sure.
or to fall into disrepair because they've put themselves into the project. So it's really fantastic.
Invested, absolutely. What about some of the skills that have been gained? Because you said, you know, obviously you're not wanting to just hand everybody a chainsaw, but I'm sure there's been so many skills that have come out of this that they've learned, those adult volunteers teaching them, and somebody willing to let them. So many times I
Give 'em a
think
chance.
you don't even do that. You don't give them a chance. So
Absolutely. Being able to see a project through to fruition, understanding the logistics that it takes behind the project, it's not just about showing up. Somebody has to make the contacts beforehand. Somebody has to get all the equipment. Somebody has to prep the project. And then we show up and then we do the project. What happens after we leave? What happens if this is over several month or several year period of time? It becomes kind of a building block for project management skill set so they can understand. I would love for every teen that has participated in the program to be able to put on their college resume, created and saw through a project over the course of 2 or 3 or 4 years. What a great message to send to a future employer or a college when they're filling out their resumes to go to tech school or college. Not only am I committed, but I'm committed on a long-term basis. I have follow through. When I say I'm going to do something, I do it.
yeah, commitment. Now, you mentioned Henrietta. You're hoping to continue to grow. Do you have other places that you're hoping to reach into and to expand?
Sure. You know, and we also have, and I'm remiss, our friends in Vernon and Electra, I'm sorry, you know, they've participated in the program before. But I'd love to see Graham be a part of that. I'd love to see Seymour be a part of that. I'd love for Alney to be a part of that. I'd love to go above the Red River. I'd love to see some of our friends in Duncan and in Altus and in Lawton, all of, that full range. Any program that has intrinsic value is worth doing anywhere, and this has great intrinsic value.
What kind of a difference do you think this makes in their communities? If it is a smaller community, have you heard people say, this is changing our town? I mean, because if this is changing our teens, it's got to be changing the town in a sense.
Absolutely. It gives engagement into the future of that community. Folks who just live and exist in a community have no engagement or investment in its future. The ones that are going to be there, let's get them engaged early. Then we can start to talk about a long-term plan. What do we need to do? I had a great conversation with a good friend from St. Joe the other day, and we were talking about what's going on there. If we do not engage our teens and our young adults, we have folks that are making decisions that affect us down the road.
Yeah.
We need to be at the table. So let them have a say and a play in what that looks like. Get them engaged in the value of taking care and growing and maintaining where we live and really how we live.
Might even, and as you said, investing in something and believing in it, keep them in those communities as well. I know that's been something.
Retention is huge.
Yeah, we've heard a lot about those stories. They want to get out of the small town. They want to move on. But if they're connected, they're invested in that community, that's going to be home for them. So
Absolutely.
Well, Stuart, we appreciate it. We appreciate all you do. I know this is just a passion of yours. It's very easy to see that. We say that every time because it's just so true. But teens make a difference. Now's the time they need to start signing up because you want to get T-shirts out. You want to get everything set up and ready to go time October 1st comes.
Absolutely. If they have a question, if a teen has a question, a parent has a question, if an educator has a question, call. We'll talk through it with you. We'll get you set up. We want everybody that wants to participate to have a chance to do that.
If you'd like to learn more, you can always head to their website. The link is there at the bottom of your screen.
And we're on Facebook too, Ashley.
And check out Facebook as well.
Teens make a difference.
Teens make a difference. We want to say thanks for joining us again, Stuart, and thank you, Texoma, as well. We hope you have a wonderful day. We'll see you back here next Sunday morning for another look inside Texoma.
Thank you, Ashley.